Bump, bump,
Bump.
ba-da-da, bump,
Bump.
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 Oh, hey, we got lasers this morning.
everything.
On a Wednesday. I just
The
want to
winners.
say that I have a major announcement, and that it's that the Blue Rivers
Really?
presented by LAX. Welcome to the show.
Oh man, I was like, oh, is something happening? Are you having a
No, I
child?
just feel
Are
like,
you-
sports figures in Los Angeles are making major announcements or teasing major announcements that, turn out
Oh,
to
no Hennessy for you?
basically be advertisements. So I figure I could do the same. Welcome to the show. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. Yeah, I mean, I know this is a Dodger show, but I'm sure we were all on pins and needles waiting for what that announcement was, only, for it to not be what we thought it was.
Are you like me in any sense where you're like, I mean, I'm probably not buying Hennessy anyway. Cognac is really tough for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to buy that anymore. I'll go to something else. I'll go to a different cognac if I want it.
Oh,
Just
I
'cause
mean,
that annoyed me.
If I were a drinker of Hennessy, which I'm not, I don't know that this would have turned me off of it. But at the same time, I'm not going to start buying it just because. So my relationship to that particular brand remains unchanged regardless of what happened yesterday.
The LeBronacy.
Yeah.
La Hennessy.
So it's, I didn't drink it before. I'm not going to drink it now. Nothing has changed for me. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about on the show. If you were here yesterday, then we had on Graham Metzger, who works at the station and is the resident Phillies fan. He was kind enough to come hang out with us and sort of share his pain about his team being down 0-2 in the series. But we didn't get, I think, into the game itself maybe as much as we would have otherwise. So we can certainly turn the page back a day and kind of dive into the goings on of Game 2. And, of course, we'll get you ready for Game 3 of the series tonight at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers a chance to close it out in 3 games on a day where Major League Baseball actually has 4 elimination games on tap. So could be a busy moving day across MLB. But as always, do want to start by thanking the folks at LAX. They are transforming the travel experience, saving guests time. If you want more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforminglAX. Okay. We did spend some time talking about the bullpen yesterday, and I'm sure we'll talk about the bullpen again today because it is a frequent topic of conversation. But one of the things that we did not get to yesterday, and I thought this was kind of the pivotal moment in the game, Greg, and you can tell me whether you agree or not. Obviously, everybody talks about the bunt. I spent a lot of time reading Phillies media and reading Phillies, fandom and stuff, and everybody kept focusing on the bunt. What no one on the Phillies side, at least, seems to be talking about is the fact that in a scoreless ball game, the Phillies had 2 on and nobody out, and Blake Snell pitched out of it. And then in the top of the 7th, the Dodgers put 4 runs on the board. And that, to me, more than anything that happened in the 9th inning, felt like it's what turned the game upside down.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. You're 100% right, because people only we all do it. I think I've done it plenty of times. The thing that happens at the end of the game is what caused the loss. But always, if you go back and look down the line, there's so many things that could have happened. If Trey, and even when they started that scoring, Teoscar Hernandez coming from third to home, if Trey Turner puts that ball just like a couple of inches to the left, he's putting the ball on Teo by him, just like that, and he's out, and then that maybe all just starts unraveling and keeps going on. That was a situation that it's always those moments, those little moments, having guys like Blake Snell, having the ability of the defensive ability that this team has when it's not Teo, and right, is very much a positive for this team. That's why they won the World Series last year. So the fact that Blake Snell was able to pitch out of that, and the defense just all around throughout the rest of the game made the big plays. That's why they won that game. And we're going to look back later. The Phillies fans, when they're not screaming and yelling, are going to look at it like we just didn't do the little things to win.
I mean, it was so bad, Parker. Greg sent us in the chat a video of local media in Philly, and they were just all it sounded like Patty's Pub. They were all screaming at each other. Charlie screaming about rats, and they're calling Dia Bird, a whole thing. I don't know what's going on.
The bird thing.
But here's the Phillies have been close. They haven't been able to get over the hump in any of these games. Is it as simple as the Dodgers just making pitches when they need to, or is there just something about the Dodgers in October that just makes it feel different? I know it's an abstract question that I'm putting towards you, but I'm just trying to figure out what it is that the Dodgers have had over the Phillies in these first two games, considering they crumbled against the Phils late in the season.
Yeah, well, I'll tackle your abstract question with a
thought experiment.
Yes, a thought experiment. Funny enough, yes, with a thought experiment. The Dodgers, speaking of thoughts, just have that championship mentality. And I know that sometimes that's such a cliche thing to say in media, but that's just the truth of the matter. Mookie made the decision to do that during the pitching change, the wheel play, that is. The guys just make decisions in the right moments to lock in. And sure, they crumbled at times during the regular season against the Phillies and throughout the season with bullpen issues, injuries, etc. But when the playoffs come, this Dodgers team for the last 13 plus years just lock in. And there are examples of, yes, when that doesn't really work out, but majority of the times it works out. And this team is just, everybody from Phillies TikTok to just Philadelphia TikTok and MLB TikTok are like, they're the Avengers. You can't.
Right. I did see one of those yesterday.
When one guy drops, the other guy steps up, because that's just the mentality they have. It's the next man up. If the top of the lineup isn't performing, then okay, Rortvet's going to get on base and move things along for Shohei. If it's not Shohei, then it's going to be Teo, who makes a big home run even after making an error. Championship mentality isn't a joke. It's the real deal. And Dodgers fans should be honestly blessed that this team is who they are.
Yeah, I did see one of those TikToks that they're the baseball Avengers. Their leadoff hitter is baseball Jesus, who hits 55 to 60 home runs every year.
By the way, Shohei made a great
pitches
appearance.
Too.
Yeah, he does that too. He made a big appearance on the new Lakers promo this morning. I just noticed.
Oh.
So Brenda Song and Shohei Otani.
Oh,
nice.
All right.
Nice.
I'll have to check that out. That sounds cool. Parker,
big fan of Brenda's song. I like Brenda's song.
Brenda's song
very much.
Blue Review love.
Were you a Sweet Life of Zach and Cody?
No, just
I'm a big
Brenda
London
song.
Just Brenda song. All right, fair enough. Parker mentioned the wheel play, and that's another thing that has gotten a lot of attention. In fact, again, it's one of those things that is sort of broken contain outside of baseball nerds, because my wife was asking me about the wheel play and why it was such a big deal, which kind of left me to try to explain in a short amount of time the whole history of offense in baseball and how it has changed, and the fact that people don't bunt anymore, and why it was a big deal that Mookie called that everybody rotate. But Parker talks about championship mentality and just baseball IQ, and Greg, that to me is maybe the biggest example of baseball IQ. That one, you would think about, hey, they might bunt here, and then you would recall a play that happened a couple of months previous and be like, guys, let's do that. And for all the things that Mookie Betts does, it's probably those little things more than anything that kind of helps this team continue to win so consistently.
Yeah, absolutely. And think about it too. It's very much, he's only been playing that specific position for a year. Pretty much. So so that he's playing it at such a elite level. He's thinking about it at elite level. I guarantee it helps that you have a guy like Miggy Rojas that's kind of walking him through it. He worked with Trevor Story in the offseason. He worked with guys that know the position very well, and probably walked through maybe not that exact scenario, but scenarios just like that. But also he thought about that scenario, like you said, from a couple of months ago, and said, this is the perfect time for that, because they're going to bunt here, especially after the first time that he tried to lay down the bunt. Right. It all of a sudden you're like, okay, this is happening. It makes sense. And most of the time we're not going to get the guy at third. Our only shot is to do it this way. Baseball IQ is at an all-time high with this team, and I think that's a lot of it, what you guys are talking about. Shohei, Mookie, Freddie are some of the highest IQ players in baseball, and they're all on the same team doing this exact same thing. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, just watching this team come to, and I know we would talk about the Dodgers flipping a switch, and I know that it would anger people in the chat, and I get that, right? Because you feel like, one, there's just no switch, and if you're going to play this well, just play this well. but I do think this team finds another gear this time of year. And look, it hasn't always been successful, right? They have lost in the playoffs, right? But this is a team that comes into the season knowing that the goal is October. And sometimes over the course of 162 games in the space of 5 or 6 months, you tend to lose interest. It is a grind. I think that's part of what makes the baseball season so special, is that you are playing pretty much day in and day out for 6 months. And it really is hard to keep that level of focus. Look, we see it in the NBA, right? Guys sort of load manage. There are games where teams are just kind of like, hey, we're gonna put out our B team because we need to rest our stars. And so baseball kind of, would lend itself to that, but somehow this team kind of keeps going and keeps finding ways to be successful about it. So,
Marcus, they won a game where Luzardo had 17 retired batters in a row.
Yeah, he was great. But that's the whole thing about this Dodger team. If you get to the third time through the lineup, they're going to get you. They're going to get. So if you don't score before if you hold them down for the first 2 times through the lineup and you're pitching well and you don't score, they're going to get you the third time through. That's just how baseball for most teams work, and especially for this one. If Shohei sees a pitcher for a third time, more than likely he's going to get him. That's just how that's going to work, and they're going to find ways to put up runs the Maruko style, Parker. That they're going to find ways to do it, and it happened time and time again.
And quickly on Otani, I know that we texted as soon as he got that hit because of course game 1 wasn't his best. On the plate, it was not his best.
Game 2 didn't start well either.
It didn't start well, but as soon as like we say in basketball, he saw one go through, we all texted each other just like, hey,
it is.
Otani, he's seeing the ball now. Let's see how this goes.
I keep saying, like, he's a Costco player, man. He does things in bulk. He hits home runs in bulk. He drives in runs in bulk. So that was, if I'm the Phillies, that was very quietly maybe my worst nightmare, that Shohei got an RBI hit late in that game, because now you hope you have not awakened the beast that you have to deal with for, at least one more game. For Dodger fans, hopefully just one more game. And that's sort of it. So,
are you worried? Are you surprised at all? Not worried. Surprised that the Dodgers are going, or the Phillies are going with Aaron Nola, a right-hander, when Shohei did get that hit? Is going now. You're having a right-hander versus a left-hander that also puts Max Muncy into the lineup. It's a lot of weird things. They were going lefty, lefty, lefty to mitigate as much as they possibly could. Are you surprised at all they went with a righty? One that has like a 7 ERA this year too.
Yeah, I am. Although, look, man, the whole 7 ERA thing. If the July Dodgers show up, then they might be cooked.
Fair.
I was initially surprised. And again, just kind of spending the last couple of days reading a lot of things on the Phillies side. This could be an example of Rob Thompson trying to play 3D chess or 4D chess, which, a lot of times doesn't work. But the thought process being, you start a right-hander, you get the Dodgers to maybe put a few extra left-handers in the lineup because we already know Max Muncy is supposed to start, but... And then, after an at-bat, then you bring Suarez in, and suddenly now the Dodgers have all these left-handed hitters against one of your good left-handed pitchers. It's a if that's what it is, it's a calculated risk because, if Nola gives up a 4 spot in the first couple of innings, then you're sort of in trouble. And now you really do need Suarez and whoever else to come in and try to put out the fire and keep the score where it is. So, I don't know if that's really the thought process, or if for whatever reason Rob Thompson just has a feeling about Aaron Nola. I don't know, but I initially was surprised, and then I read about it. I was like, I guess I understand.
So looking at his stats in September, he pitched in 5 games. He gave up 6 runs, 0 runs, 6 runs, 4 runs, 1 run against. He went 8 innings, 1 run, 9 strikeouts his last time out against Minnesota. But since August, when he just came back in August, it was 6-2, 4-6, 0-6 for 1 of the amount of runs he gave up. So he's not pitching great after he came off the injured. I don't know what he had that took him off the injured list from May to August, but these aren't great by any means.
No, they're not. And so, I'm not quite sure. We talked to Graham Metzger yesterday, and he was saying this just feels like a Rob Thompson move. That one of those things where, look, obviously we don't follow the day-to-day of the Phillies, but it definitely sounds like the fan base is sort of fed up with Rob Thompson.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where if it backfires, then they're going to be calling for his head in Philly.
Already are.
They already are.
Yeah.
But especially
we don't bunt in Philly. We don't bunt.
I mean, sure. Again, I understood the thought process there. Obviously,
but maybe Harper and Schwarber get a hit. I
mean, I think that's some of it too, though, right? Is that like if you are the Phillies, you need those guys at the top to hit. Turner, Schwarber, Harper are a combined 2 for 21 with 11 strikeouts. Like that is as much the reason they're 0-2 as anything that has happened in this series right now.
Reminiscent of the Freddie and Mookie stretch, the 1 for 21 stretch versus Diamondbacks. And what happened? They were swept. It's just that's how sometimes things work, unfortunately. And of course, they got on that plane from Philly to LA with the intention of going back for a game 5. You can't discredit this team at all, but that's just, the facts at this point is that they aren't seeing the ball very well.
No, they're absolutely not hitting the ball. They're not seeing the ball at all. And now they have the misfortune of the next 2 games at Dodger Stadium. And tonight they got to deal with Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Yoshinobu. If there's one thing we have learned about him in the year plus that he has been a Dodger, it is that he shows up when the lights are on, when the lights are brightest, in the big situations. It's weird because he always seems to have his first start of the postseason seems to maybe be a little bit rocky. But once he works that out, then he's just magic. I mean, was it last year against the Padres? His first start was not great. He kind of had a little bit of a rocky start against the Reds, but was able to kind of work. Although that wasn't totally his fault. Teo dropped the fly ball, which did not help. But after that, he was lights out. He locked in, and so now he gets the ball with a chance to send the Dodgers to the NLCS tonight. Looking forward to it. Will Smith back in the lineup too, which is a big,
which is wonderful. Can I just? So I have Yoshinobu Yamamoto's numbers versus the Phillies.
Okay.
Harrison Bader is pretty good against them. He's 4 for 7 with a double and an RBI.
But you wonder will Bader start with that groin injury?
He can't run in the outfield. They're saying that he's not able to do those kind of things. He can hit, but so he's a late inning pinch hitter. So that's what Harrison Bader does. That RBI from Bader is the only RBI. Now, very, very small sample size. Most people only have 2 to 3 at bats. That's the only RBI that the Phillies have against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Alec Boehm 0 for 3, Castellanos 1 for 2, Harper 0 for 2, Kepler 0 for 2, Marsh 0 for 2, Real Muto 1 for 2, Schwarber 0 for 2, Stott 0 for 2, Trey Turner 1 for 2. So, and they have 8 strikeouts in that time.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I mean, very super small sample size. Basically, Yamamoto's faced them one time,
right?
And he pitched very, very well. So that's basically what that says.
But I'm digging it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, give me all the positive stats.
Let's make history repeat itself at this point and see what happens. So, best case scenario for the Dodgers, right? It's got to be win tonight, get a couple days rest, and hope the Cubs can, pull out a couple of games, force that thing back to Milwaukee. In the end.
Yeah. Hope so, Parker. I mean, that's
obviously yes, best case scenario. But gosh, that Brewers team just looks determined, and that offense is so potent. They are reminding me of just certain like regular season Dodgers performances where they just get hits and they're scoring runs nonstop. It's gonna be interesting to see how things shake out. But I mean, if you're the Dodgers, just go out, win tonight, support Yamamoto, get those runs. And that'll be the biggest thing on your mind at the moment. But it would be, I'm just from a baseball standpoint, I think it would be really cool to see a Dodgers Cubs series. No offense to our friends over in Milwaukee, but I think that's two-story franchises is always fun for the game.
I mean, I think if you're baseball, right, it sells itself because they started the season together in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Why not be essentially, not the last series of the year, but the last National League only series of the year? It sells itself.
But keep PCA away from us.
Yeah, PCA can't play. You gotta sit out, bro. We can't have that happening.
Just like we're getting rid of the 8th inning, we're just gonna get rid of PCA.
Yeah, right.
He's like that's just a dead spot that just goes away.
We're gonna pick and choose what we like, and we're gonna go with that. Speaking of the 8th inning, the last couple of minutes here. Look, Yamamoto ideally gets through 6, maybe 7. 7 would be great. 8th inning, what happens? Is it back to Glass now? Although, I would think he's the starter in Game 4 if it gets there. How do they bridge the gap to whoever pitches in the 9th at this point?
So I mean, obviously, it depends on what's going on. If you have the lead in the 8th inning and Yamamoto is done after 7, then yeah, it's Glass now. Don't worry about tomorrow. If you need to, you can start Kershaw tomorrow and have Kershaw to Sheehan or something like that. So if you have a lead and a chance to win this game tonight, 100% in my mind, you go Glasnow to Roki, or just to let Glasnow finish it out and do it that way, because it's not about that you're a starter. I'm a starter. You don't save anybody for Game 4. If there's no need for a Game 4, then just put them out there and give what you possibly can. Hopefully Yamamoto goes as far as he possibly can, goes 7-8 innings, which would be phenomenal. But yeah, if Glasnow is the guy for me, we don't need to save him for Game 4.
I mean, I'm with you. I just, I know that obviously when that bullpen door swings open, everybody wearing blue and white sort of holds their breath a little bit. So we'll see how it goes with that. But should be interesting. The other thing about this thing tonight, Parker, is ideally, look, the Dodgers just jump out to a lead and just kind of cruise this thing. But the Phillies are very much in an all-hands-on-deck situation. I would think all arms are sort of available for Rob Thompson, which if they do somehow pull this thing out, there's no day off between Game 3 and 4. Only games of the series that don't have a day off in between. If somehow they pull this out, I would think their bullpen is going to be in a bad way potentially for a Game 4 if that happens.
Yeah, it's like a the Dodgers are in like a what is it in football? You call it like a 2-down territory. Like you can take the 3rd and the 4th down here because the Phillies are going all out with everything they got. They're going to waste Suarez, and they're just going to have to do everything they can to try to stay alive. And that's the position they put themselves in. So Dodgers have a huge advantage here. But the most important thing, score first, just get runs. Because like Greg mentioned at the beginning of this episode, you can't let the Dodgers score first, because at that point the offense gets rolling and it's just too dangerous and potent of a team to really get after. And I hope that we see Roki to close it out tonight as well. I mean, I know that Dave is trying to be a little careful. He doesn't do two out of 3 days, all that and what and another, but doesn't matter. Throw Roki out there because that's our guy. 100 miles per hour and the nastiest freaking splitter you've ever seen. Let's see it happen. Dodgers get the win tonight. I'm excited.
Let's do it. So Parker's got him getting the win. Do they finish off the sweep tonight, Greg?
I think they do. I have trust in Yamamoto. I think they can pull it out tonight, and because I think the Phillies are just kind of dejected.
I think they not only win, I think they win fairly easily tonight.
Love that.
I think they thump Nola. I think Yamamoto is just lights out, and I think they cruise to a fairly comfortable win. And then get ready for whoever they play in the NLCS. So regardless of what happens, we'll be back here tomorrow to talk about it. Stick around for the Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Thanks to everybody in the chat for waking up, hanging out, and having coffee and breakfast with us. Thanks to LAX as well. So that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 6:30, 6:55 on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. That's it.
See ya. I need coffee.
Oh my gosh, I need that.
Yeah, lasers.
All right.